No man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism as well as abilities of the very worthy gentlemen who have just addressed the House. But many men see the same subject in different lights, and therefore I hope will not be thought disrespectful to those gentlemen if entertaining as I do opinions of a character opposite to theirs. I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. It is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one of awful moment to this country. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery, and in proportion to the magnitude of the subject ought to be freedom of the debate. It is only in this way that we can hope to arrive at truth, and fulfill the great responsibility to which we hold to God and our country. Should I keep back my opinions through fear of giving offense, I should consider myself as guilty of treason towards my country, and of an act of disloyalty towards the Majesty of Heaven, who I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, it is natural to man to indulge in the fond hope of peace and reconciliation. We are apt to shut our eyes against a painful truth and listen till that song of that siren till she transforms us into beasts. Is this the part of wise men engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be of those who having eyes see not, and having ears hear not, the things which so nearly concern their temporal salvation? For my own part, whatever anguish of spirit may cost, I am willing to know the whole truth, to know the worst, and to provide for it. I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. I know of no way of judging the future but by the past. And judging by the past, I wish to know what there has been in the conduct of the British ministry for the last 10 years to justify those hopes with which men have been pleased to solace themselves in the House. Is it this insidious smile which our petition has been lately received? Trust it not, sir, it will prove a snare to your feet. Suffer not yourselves to betray with a kiss. Ask yourselves how this gracious reception of our petition comports with those warlike preparations which cover our waters and darken our land. Are fleets and armies necessary to work of love and reconciliation? Have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled with that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. These are the implements of war and subjugation, the last arguments to which kings resort. I ask, gentlemen, sir, what means this martial array, if its purpose be not to force us to submission? Can gentlemen assign any other possible motive for it? Does Great Britain have any other enemy in this quarter of the world to call for all this accumulation of navies and armies? No, sir, she has none. They have been sent over to bind and rivet upon us those chains with which the British ministry has been so long forging. And what have we to oppose to them? Shall we try argument? Sir, we have been trying that for the last 10 years. Have we anything new to offer upon the subject? Nothing. We have held the subject up in every light of which it is capable. It's all been in vain. We have done everything that could be done to avert the storm which is now coming on. We have petitioned, we have remonstrated, we have supplicated, and we have prostrated ourselves before the throne and have implored its intercession to rest the tyrannical hands of Parliament and Ministry. Our petitions have been slighted, our remonstrations have produced additional violence and insult, and our supplications have been disregarded, and we have been spurned with contempt from the foot of the throne. In vain after these things may we indulge in the fond hope of peace and reconciliation. There's no longer any room for hope. There's no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we wish to preserve those inviolate and unassailable privileges for which we have been so long contending, and which we have pledged ourselves never to abandon until the glorious object of our subject shall be obtained, we must fight, I repeat it, sir, we must fight, and appeal to arms to the God of hosts is all that is left us. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with such formidable an adversary. Well, when shall we be stronger? Will it be the next week, or the next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed and when a British guard shall be stationed in every house? Shall we gather strength by resolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying supinely on our backs, hugging the delusive phantom of hope till our enemy shall have bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak if we make proper use of the millions of people which the God of nature hath placed in our power. Millions of people which in such a country as which we possess are invincible by any force which our enemy can send upon us. Besides, sir, there is a just God who perceives in the destinies of nations, and who will raise up friends to fight our battles for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone, for the brave, the vigilant, the active. Besides, sir, we have no election. If we are base enough to desire it, it is too late to retire from the contest. The only retreat is in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat it, sir, let it come. Sir, it is in vain to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war has actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are in the field. Why stand here idle? What is it the gentlemen wish? What could they have? Is peace so sweet, or love so dear, to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.